Boys, do not make the same mistake I did. I lost everything inside of Cryo Archives, but I have learned the ways and I have an incredible guide here. Welcome back to the Marathon Academy. I was about to do a step-by-step guide, kind of giving you little piecemeal parts of Cryo Archives, but as I put it together and as I was reviewing it, it didn't give what I think is a true representation of how brutal and punishing Cryo is, and more importantly, a flow of how to go about through the map. So what I have for you is 2 raids. One, I'm not running around in a God squad. I'm actually showing some new people to Cryo Archives in a 0 to hero, some of the best loot I've ever found, and then the best max win I've ever had on Cryo, where we go through all of the high tier loot areas and bring home it's just the best. It's the best. I thought this was a heck of a lot better way because it also is going to explain some of the way the meta works out in terms of how people fight and how people rotate and how you should move in position. And I'm going to be laying out everything, all of the death traps, all of the fatal funnels that I realized I made huge mistakes to solve it for you ahead of time so you don't make the same mistakes I did. If you guys are interested in all things Marathon and getting better at Marathon, make sure to subscribe here for more Marathon Academy content. Drop a like, help support Marathon creators. There's a lot of haters out there, but I'm having a blast on this game. Without further ado, let's get into some Marathon Cryo Archives runs.
This is insane. What? It's this big.
Now, don't get me wrong. This big is normally massive, but for a webcam, that is an unbelievable performance for such a tiny package. This is the Hollyland Lyra webcam, and it obliterates any other USB camera I've ever used in the past. I've made dedicated videos on this topic, and I cannot believe how well this camera performs. With its 1/1.5-inch CMOS sensor, it is 3 times larger than most USB webcams, capturing much better low-light performance. This is back in my OG setup, the dungeon, very dimly lit that I normally had to use a full-up camera and wide aperture lens in order to capture low-light footage, and look, it crushes. On top of that, it captures up to 4K 30 FPS with a 50 megapixel sensor. The voice you heard earlier
This is insane.
was my voice recorded in camera. It has face tracking, a privacy shutter, and even some beauty filters to help smooth out your skin if that's something you're worried about, and all of that for an incredibly low price considering its impressive performance. If you want to learn more about the Hollyland library, you can click the link down in the pinned comment and the description. A huge thank you to Hollyland for sponsoring today's video. Now, I think it's really important before we go into the gameplay itself is to get a bird's eye view of what's happening, because while we are going to cover some of the minutia, some of the basics of how to move through this map, I think it's a lot more important for you guys to understand the metagame of like rotations and how gunfights are happening. This is a little bit more of an advanced guide than just an intro to Cryo Archives, because if you know every step, that's one thing, but if you actually know how the map plays, especially as a result of understanding bird's eye view, it's going to radically change your success rate, because I have made some horrible mistakes, especially positioning and timing wise, that I do not want you to make. So it's important to realize that basically every spawn has a symmetrical spawn right next to it. There are up to 6 teams that can spawn on the map as of now, and optimization and calibration kind of spawn right off each other. Repository and stockpile spawn opposite of each other. And then staging and foundation also spawn opposite of each other. Why is this important? Well, when we get into the gameplay, you're going to see I'm very, very intentional about how we go through this lobby. Now, this is not a God Squad. Again, I want to have a relatable raid, a relatable run for you all, and I'm playing with someone who's never played this map before. This is literally his first map he's ever played, and we get some of the best loot he's ever seen. Because I don't think it's super relatable if you have people running around with full gold kits who have ran hundreds of hours, maybe played early in the early access, and I think this will help you guys see a little bit more practical raid that you can replicate. The next raid is my most profitable raid I've ever seen. Over 100,000 coin brought home, and we hit all the high-level spots in the map, excluding the compiler, which is a whole separate video to get into. But if you're not familiar with it, up in the top right, you have your security clearance. And our #1 priority is not running around looting every container, taking our time. We are trying to get out of our spawn point as fast as we possibly can. That being said, we will still stop and loot, and every body that we loot, we're looking for security tags, which we'll show you in a second. Those are guaranteed to spawn on purple bosses, but even the blue bosses and other enemies, I've seen them spawn on them as well. But more importantly, every single body, it seems like, is dropping either a consumable, like an energy amp or a cardio kick, or grenades. And this is grenade spam central. There are so many grenades on this map, so it's something to be aware of. Actually, looking at that, I think I killed a purple there, and that's the first time I've ever seen a purple not drop a key card. The other way you can get key cards is to go through the map and look for these computer screens. Those computer screens, as you run around them, will have a chance, and you'll see them lit up, and you have an opportunity to hack them, and they will give you 3 security clearance credits. Sometimes you can find 1 of them in your spawn. Sometimes you find none of them. Other times you get lucky, find like 3, and then you're instantly out of your spawn with level 2 clearance. Why does that matter? As you run up to all the doors throughout the map, they're going to have a restriction of level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually there's a level 5. And what my strategy is, after many mistakes and after getting completely farmed, is spending way too long in low tier areas, not getting established in power positions, and having people act on me rather than me act on them. So again, I'm going in with a blue M77. Our team doesn't have the best loot in the world, but what we're doing is we're moving through the map. I end up finding a better waster than the one that I brought in. We're looting these bodies, and we're looking for security tags. And then we're also looking for these monitors that you'll see right here, where you can hack the security clearance. I do not like to dilly-dally and spawn. You can see my teammates are already ready and pushed up based on the way that we've played these rounds. And now we get out into control. Okay? Control, anytime you see that door, it should trigger something in your mind of like, lock in. We got to listen. We got to be ready. We got to make sure that we are very deliberate about where we're moving. This game, I play Destroyer. The next one, I play Triage. And dude, I play Triage like nobody else. I full role play that character, and you're going to love the way I play him. But I'm very intentional. This downstairs here, inside of Control. Control is split off into 2 sections. There's a downstairs in both sides. We'll go ahead and pull up the map for this. There's a downstairs in both sides of Control. There is a catwalk on both sides. There's a giant pit in the middle. But outside of this catwalk, there is like this little downstairs area. It is a death trap. Almost never spend any time in there because you are surrounded by this full catwalk that will just look over you and shoot down on you. Or if you're down there, people on the other side of the lower can shoot across at you. It is like absolute no man's land. Almost every time I've had my team go down there, they end up getting wiped. So what I oftentimes end up doing is trying to get top catwalk control. Or, as you're going to see here, we walk up here and we start beelining over towards an enemy spawn. And that's, I'm telling you, if you replicate some of the things that we're going to show off in this video, you will have crazy, crazy, crazy success inside of Cryo. So we get in, instantly get out of there by cutting to the right. You'll see the cargo where we ended up spawning is a level 2. So we're like, shoot, we don't have level 2. What you can oftentimes do is those little desks that I just snake through, oftentimes will have security clearances. I didn't find any security clearances, but I'll try not to skip around too much on you. These desks not only have security tags that spawn on top of them, but they also, these computer screens can also be security hacks as well, which is a great way to get your security clearance up. So you'll see we're pretty early into the raid, and in my opinion, we get in early security clearance too. So I start telling my team, screw those ads, screw those bots. We're not worried about them. We're going to go in. There's a great loot room to the left there as we looked at those red double doors, but that's not my focus. I'm checking the desk for clearance, what other players have done to me many times. And listen to that. I'm checking these desks for security clearance, checking this desk over here. Listen closely. Bomb, bomb, bomb. That means, if you've heard it before, it's a hazard room. And someone has stepped inside of that hazard room, or at least tripped a laser that caused the hazard room to go off. And as we mentioned, with the symmetrical spawns, this is one of those symmetrical spawns. But since we got level 2 so early, we have the jump on them. They're thinking they're going to be able to walk out of their spawn, and we're not going to let that happen. So I start yelling at my teammates like, hey, be quiet, be quiet. Everyone crouch. No one make a noise. Pre-aim, pre-aim, pre-aim. We can hear the bots walking around behind us. And I'm like, just pre-aim, pre-aim, pre-aim. Here they come. We get the knock. I have a short mag because, again, we were down bad. I don't get the thirst. The team bubble shields him. And this is something that's very common. The team intentionally tripped the wires to cause that door to go down. But every time a red door comes down, there's also a panel somewhere near it that you can access. I know that player's down. I want to get active. He ends up self-reviving. But they're all getting completely toxined right now. We push in, standard bubble, smoke, nade fight. But the fight kind of resets a little bit. And so much of this game is like understanding where long lanes are, right? So us getting stuck in this stairway, if it wasn't for this bubble, is a really long lane where if we peek something, it's not like we can throw a quick shoulder and then dip back. The second that we start committing to these stairs, we are now exposing ourselves to a long lane where we don't have a quick finesse. We don't have a quick, I'm going to scoot around this corner and self-revive. If we get stuck in these long lanes, we're going to die. So my teammates end up throwing down these bubble shields. Again, we're basically using like every piece of kit that we have. We are not super kitted heading into this battle. He ends up going down to the hazard. So what I do is I'm holding him, making sure he doesn't get pushed. I hear the gunshots deep, and then I realize I have an opening. My destroyer ult is popped. I get it down. I'm telling my teammates, I'm like, push up, push up, push up. We got to push up. I hear footsteps on the left. And I'm screaming, guys, left, left, left. Boom. Smoke that. Somehow, laser ends up going off. We take out the second player. And we're still looking for one. So 2 players are down. We'll replay that real quick. I get the opening knock. I'm screaming at my teammates. Downed on the right. Player on the left. They hard commit right. I kind of bait them. I get their trade. We jump in. Get the kill. It was a clean fight. But then, we almost start making some mistakes. Anytime on Cryo, because it's such a small map, and in general, players are going to be more aggressive and more talented because of the higher skill gap, or even just the level entry in the gear anti-entry, I'm always trying to delegate, like, nobody should ever have 3 eyes down at once, ever. Unless you know you have wiped the last team on the map, and there are 6 teams on the map, I'm always like, someone have eyes up, someone have eyes up. So we ping that guy. He has gold shields. He's setting off the laser trap, I think, to try to lock us in there with him, or maybe to buy himself time. I'm not really sure. But look at the loot start to flow in. All purples and a gold assassin core. I'm not rocking assassin. Again, I'm down pretty bad on the core front, so I end up telling my teammates, hey, come over here, pick up this core. We take out these bots. That player is still sitting there. We're basically creating some space, but at the same time, we want to make sure as we're going in, anyone can trade out anyone in this game. Brother, the Waster shotguns, the Mizrayas, Claymores, you can die so fast. And so what I tell my teammate is, hey, he wants to come back for their teammates' loot. Leave him. Screw that guy. If he wants to come face us, he can come face us. I make sure we don't have 3 heads down at once. Those 2 guys are looting the bags. I start holding cover. I'm throwing some shoulders with my destroyer shield. And the reason I'm doing this is not out of being a loot goblin, but it's out of, we need nades. We need bubble shields. We need ammo. We need meds. I want to make sure we are fully kitted in the event that we get third-partied. It's not after we've used everything on that one individual. So a little bit of a gunfight, philosophy there, but it matters at the end of the day. We clean up the loot one more time, and I end up getting flanked, almost get taken down, but I buy enough time. That guy, the second I put up my shield, should have just bailed. We end up taking him out. That's a squad wipe. That's Mr. Gold Shield, and... Oh. Oh, the eyes are getting wide. He has the unique, so that is the Cryo Archive's only shotgun, or LMG. 2 gold implants, gold shield, gold bag, which the gold ammo bag reloads for you every time you get a kill while using it. And you'll see as I use it later, I can just farm and farm and farm and farm and farm. End up throwing on some new cores as well. You can listen to me shoot it right here. PvE final boss. So good. So good. All right. Security breach detected. Security 3 level 3 compromised. We can talk about that as we get through it later in the video when we do it ourselves. In I think the next raid. But that basically is letting you know, hey, pacing wise, you're level 2, they're level 3. You might want to get ready, or it also will actually show where they are on the map, and I'll point that out as we get there later. So we finished looting up. Honestly, the pacing here slowed down just because we knew, based on the amount of loot that we had, we're just going to try to quick extract, bring in these gold keys, and farm them in a future raid, which is exactly what we're going to do. But it's still important to see, you know, how the heck do we get out of this map? How do we continue to fight through this map and maybe pick up a little bit more loot? Because we do. And that's what we're gonna keep moving forward with. So, as always, now we're heading back out of the spawn. Panic. Anytime you see the word control, you know you are going into the chaos. Okay, we are stuck on the low ground. We're actually excited, honestly, whenever we see those purple bosses, because that means we're going to get more security clearance. And again, anytime I'm on this low, I am paranoid. The amount of times that I've had someone swing my height from up top and just obliterate my team from down low, you have to be paranoid when you're stuck down low. But unfortunately, we have to get to level 3 to make it to some of the end-game spots that we want to get to. So we move through. That's back where we spawned earlier. We're looking around for these key cards. Surprisingly, we didn't find enough key cards off the bodies of the guys that we killed, which is kind of surprising considering like how high tier their loot was. We're running around. We only need level 2 to get into this room. Level 3 is where things start to get really good. We're looking around for the key cards. We could go around to the other side. Those other desks also have key cards as well. And then this is actually a really big find, this empty cryo coolant. We'll talk about that especially in the next game because we go out and we find those more intentionally because next game we break open a vault. But that's one of the things that you're going to need to break open pretty much every vault in the game except for one. We'll talk about that more here in a moment. Again, I want to focus more big picture, how to move through the map. It doesn't matter if you're looking for vaults or if you're just looking for loot or if you're just looking for PvP. You got to play these maps a certain way. Again, we've made our way back through this kind of control choke point. We think we hear some footsteps. We don't want to get out and get overwhelmed. We're still hunting for that security clearance 3. We were like in shambles with how long it took us to get level 3. But this staircase right here, okay, and I want to show you how we get here. So again, we are in this little symmetrical area where it splits the map in half. Off to the right, you'll see this giant floating like cryo chamber. Straight forward is towards the enemy spawn. And off to the left is like these red staircases is what I call them. When you activate these, the higher and higher you get, it will start to ping things across the map. You'll see now it's pinging batteries for me. Eventually, it'll ping higher tier loot. It'll ping boss locations where the wardens are. But there's 2 reasons to go up here. One is it's another way to get up to the catwalk. Otherwise, you can get up to the catwalk by being exposed to the catwalk, and I'll show you what I mean by that and just how dangerous it is. Is those catwalks, as I mentioned, this map, it's kind of tough to see, but there are these catwalks right here. There are staircases that overlook the no man's land. Whole catwalk up here, and there is a little catwalk that you can hit right here, but dude, you can get shot from this catwalk, shot from this catwalk. And there's also another staircase here, which again, you are very, very, very exposed, and you want to be careful about whether you approach those. So the alternative is that giant cryo area that we talked about, cargo, where I spawned, index, where we killed that enemy, and then red staircases right here. That is a safe way to reach the catwalk level without being overexposed to our enemies. So that's my goal, is we hear players up here fighting. We start lurking around. You might call it a little ratty, but, you know, not everyone is going to be able to full sprint at a team and run and gun them. This is my first time playing with the squads. Got to play a little smart. I aim down sight. I see that those are bots, and I'm like, yo, let's chill. Let's make sure we don't aggro those bots. Maybe those guys will wrap towards us. And so we kind of post up for a second. My teammates are invis, so they're able to get some information. And what we end up deciding is we basically don't like the cross. They ended up calling out that those guys ran back in through those doors, off to the right. We were hoping they would push towards us. They didn't. And as soon as he called that out, I'm like, all right, well, let's see if we can cut him off. Go to the other side of the catwalk and cut him off. But then I'm like, oh, shoot. Door open. Dead bodies. These little vents actually lead you inside of some level 3 rooms, which doesn't give you like any... I've never found like any security clearance in here, but I sometimes find some good guns. There's always like purple salvage, like biolin seeds and stuff inside of these rooms. So they're not the worst rooms to go into. This map is a labyrinth, and I love it. But you'll see, anytime I'm about to transition into a new area, I wait and I make sure my teammates are stacked. But then I hear, yo, bot just aggro, come back, pre-aim, pre-aim, pre-aim. Boom! Always get your thirst on this map. It is just, everyone has self-revive. Triage is always ready to res. We get the knock, get the other knock. Get in, get the thirst. 2 teams down. And that was the team on the other side. So they may have seen us and made a fast wrap around when we kind of dilly-dallied there in the vent. I think that they had made the fast cross over to us. But that's where it all starts to pay off. Make sure whenever you loot your opponents, obviously, there are important things to pick up in terms of like guns and gear and whatnot, but always loot their key cards, man. 20 key cards off this one guy. Boom. Now I'm carrying 28. And now our security clearance level has absolutely skyrocketed. Panacea kits, best thing in the game to pick up. We go ahead and we clear out some of the bots. Bubble shields, another top tier thing to always make sure that you're looting. Mizraya, I personally prefer over the Waster, although they are dang close. I'll fast forward through the loot Tetris. I always make sure my teammates are stacked up on Panaceas. Honestly, sometimes I'll drop all of my white heals, like my health meds, if I have Panaceas. I'm like, I'll use my shields, but then I'll just drop all of my white meds. Anytime you find a treasure, a gold treasure, it gets transferred to the entire squad, so you guys don't need to worry about fighting for it. Same thing about hazardous material or salvage. If you find gold, it goes to the entire squad. No one needs to fight over it. We'll actually talk about some red valuables here in a moment. But nice little thing that they did for the extraction shooter where you don't feel like one of your teammates is ratting you or stealing your loot. The really, really rare stuff all goes to the same players. So we'll talk about later where they found that gold item actually in the next game. But now we see, shoot, it's 5 minutes left. We got to move. And so what we end up doing, and I'll kind of show you real quick since we're here, opposite of the staircase that we were just at. As we head into that red staircase that we talked about, again, the map is very symmetrical. This right here, this panopticon, is what it's called. This big red item right here has a hallway that leads to both sides. On one side of the hallway, we were just in it. On the other side, there is a vault 4, or it's not a vault technically. There is a keycard room 4 that is full of incredible loot. You'll see here, this is a way to the other side of the catwalk. I'm waiting for my team. I want to make sure they're stacked up on me. And we figured this has already been opened based on the fact that we had picked up the gold item. But the gold item is a guaranteed spawn here inside of this strong box. They had already picked it all clean, so I really wasn't too worried about it. Inside of here, level 3, there's a little mini boss room that has 2 commanders spawn. You can also use it to get access to a vault. We'll talk about that in a future video. But there's also batteries in there. Let's talk about in the next game. And then there's also a lot more security clearance that you can hack to upgrade your security clearance. That's part of the benefit of moving around the map is aggressively, is you can loot the key cards off of people's bodies, but you can't unhack the security key cards. You know, like the security hacks just get imported into their security clearance, like on their person. You can't steal those like you do the key cards. All right, so let's talk about how to get out of here. You'll see we have marked on our map one of the terminals. I'll see if I can go back and show where we actually ping it. But that terminal right there, if you don't have any of those on the map, just go to one of those wall stations that I talked about earlier and hack those wall stations, and it will tell you, hey, here's the nearest terminal that you need to go and activate. Because when you activate that terminal, and again, I'm talking about that little wall panel right there. You hack that wall panel, and it will ping these terminals for you. We're making sure we don't hear any footsteps, kind of being a little bit paranoid, right? We've got some good loot. We don't want to lose it. And then it'll say, oh, and that's why. It was actually human footsteps. And you can always kind of tell the difference between human footsteps and UESC footsteps. Because like UESC, not only does it make a metallic sound of like kink, 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 it's also like off cadence. They have like a da-da, da-da kind of off cadence, but human footsteps are, or at least runner footsteps, are a lot more of a thud and more consistent. Tut, 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 tut. Spot him. Blitz him. And then we have 3 minutes left. And I'm like, okay, that guy has green shields. There's no way he's going to have anything worth our while. We don't need to go hunt after those guys. I thought about it for a second, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Their loot's not good enough, even if we waste our time. We have 3 minutes to exfil, and exfilling is not easy. You hit that terminal, and you're going to pull up your map, and you're going to ping, not another terminal. Do not make the mistake of pinging another terminal. Ping the guarded exfil, which is the home plate icon with the skull over it, and then you book it. You book it there. We're basically just running a route all the way to the back of the map and just following where that goes. It's really important. Pull up your map. Normally, if you would extract and you think you need like 1 minute to extract, no. Give yourself like triple the time, especially if you're new to the map. You need time to extract on this map. It takes a long time. Especially with all the ads that have already spawned back there. If you're weak, it can end up really, really bad. Always be a little bit paranoid. Make sure no one's camping you. There are some final exfils. There are 4 final exfils on this map that do spawn when the timer hits 0. But it doesn't tell you where it spawns, which is really scary. So we make it out with 2 gold keys, gold shield, gold backpack, 2 gold augments, a rare gold gun, and this is actually nothing compared to the next raid that we go into, at least value-wise. But I do real quick want to mention the spawn points, right? Or the last extract. So I'll make a video on this, discussing these and showing video of these each individually in the future. But the final extract does not mark for you on the map like it does in other maps. Other maps, Dire Marsh, Perimeter, Outpost, all have a guaranteed spot. It is always at the same spot every single time. That is not the case inside of Cryo. Inside of Cryo, you'll see we have the control. We have the catwalk, right? It's not on the catwalk level. It's actually on the bottom floor level. There underneath it is a movie theater. So there's a movie theater on both sides where an extract can spawn right there. Also, I believe the other one can spawn here, overlooking that giant bridge of the frozen area right next to the red stairs that we talked about. And I think the other one can spawn over here in between that little hallway. Basically, it's like the 4 corners. So it's movie theater, bridge, bridge. These 2 I'm 100% confident on. 99% confident on this one, and that's where someone told me this one was as well. I haven't seen that one with my own eyes, but it would make sense again with the whole symmetry of the whole map. Now let's get into a little bit higher kitted map, and we're gonna hit everything. We're gonna go through, we're gonna get max win, and we're gonna go through with my God tier triage gameplay and show off a little bit of how this map plays with a little bit more of a stacked squad and getting full up to level 5 security clearance. When I play triage, I start every single map with an energy amp. That energy amp is going to get my little drones up faster so I can throw those on my teammates, and then pop energy amp for them so that way they get their ultimates ready by the first fight. Again, we are pushing the pace. We're moving through this front area. We're looting all the grenades we can find. My teammates are dropping me every consumable they can find. I've brought in a gold key card. This is vault number 5. looting any bubble shields, looting any consumables. We already kind of talked about my pacing in through here. I've brought in, oftentimes I'll bring in like one really good gun, usually like a Mizraya, and then I find so many other great guns off of other players. I've started bringing in other less ideal guns. But honestly, I know I trashed on the overrun in my tier list video. If you want to check that out, that'll be linked at the end. If you get an overrun up to purple or blue, it's actually pretty nice. It's actually pretty nice. The default one is awful. If you ever see the screens red, that means someone else has already hacked that security clearance. We start pressing up here. We're looting batteries, which we're going to show you exactly why we're looting batteries here in a moment. And we start pressing out. We're out of control. And before we head out, again, kind of my role with the team, I start amping both my teammates up. They both have a drone on them, which means that power amp, they're going to get half the duration. So I get 2 minutes, they get 1 minute. I pop cardio kick, I get 2 minutes, they get 1 minute. And so anytime I see my amps go down to 1 minute, that's kind of when I know that it's time to re-amp my teammates. And on some maps, I'd be a little bit more stingy, but there is so many consumables on this map. If you're a triage, keep your freaking drones up and keep your teammates juiced up. Those are the three that I'm popping. Energy amps, cardio kicks, and then before fights, I'm popping signal jammers so they're not getting ripped by thermals. And then anytime any of us get affected by frost or hack, then I'm popping selectively the OS debugs or the mechanics kits. So again, we don't like to hang out here. I end up making a low rotation all the way around the other side. We do not have level 2. So we can't go through that door that we did the other time to go hit out the enemy spawn. So I wrap low under here, and I start looking. Okay, are there, key cards laying around here? Are there computers I can hack? Sometimes you just get really unlucky and you just can't find it. It's tough sometimes. But you just got to check all the shelves. They're not inside of boxes, but they'll be like down on the floor. And here are 2 enemy spawns. Again, you have to keep in mind of like where the 6 enemy spawns are. One can spawn there in Biostock. There's another door off to our left right here where they can spawn inside of there as well. They can spawn low. We are now completely opposite side of the map from where we spawned. And then they can also spawn on the upper sides as well. So 4 low, 2 high. And basically, we're just running around looking for key cards, and we're also playing for information. If we can hear enemies fighting ads and we know that they're going to be pushing towards us, we're going to try to get active. Because honestly, the best way to get security clearance is off the bodies of other players. So this right here is one of the movie theaters that we were talking about earlier. We're trying to play a little bit slow, play for information. We're knifing so we don't make a whole bunch of noise. And I see a thief drone right there, so we know we've been spotted. Full auto that thing down. And then we actually hear, what the heck are they? It sounds like they're like above us. So I start pre-popping my teammates, juicing them up. Because I know we're about to get into a fight. We know it sounds like they're deep, right? It sounds like they're like deep upstairs. So we're not worried about them peeking over. If we heard them shooting up top on this catwalk, this is that stairway that I talked about, a lot of exposure, a lot of danger here. So we end up pushing up and seeing inside of Revival. I'm like, hey, get ready. I pop my teammates' amps. All of these are above 1 minute now, so I know my teammates have all of these up. Energy, cardio, and signal jammer. I end up getting laced. You got to make sure you don't body block your teammates when they're shouldering a door. You will get them knocked. That's why I kind of gave them some space there. But we end up getting a knock. We push up aggressively. And then listen to how the chaos plays out. I get a knock. I hear the res. Shady gets the thirst. I'm telling my teammates to grab a fresh drone if they need it. We end up running this character down. If you ever are in a bubble fight honestly better than a shotgun. Because my shotgun ate the shield there. My teammates just run in, and the knife will hit them no matter where they are in the shield. And we're like, shoot, we just downed one, thirsted one. Downed another, thirsted another. There's a player right here. There was one down the hall. We're like, oh, shoot, there's multiple teams. Lock in, lock in. That's kill number 5. Or kill number 4. Destroyer right here. Always make sure, if you can, call out what character you're going after. So, Destroyer on me, Vandal on me. I Kimnade off the Vandal, so that way the Vandal can't push. The Vandal decides to push in anyways. And gets smoked. So, as I was going over to help my teammate in this fight, because he got booped by the Vandal's concussive blast. That concussive blast popped him out of the fight. I nade him off. He almost gets out. Shada gets a good kill. That guy tries to come in for the trade. I'm telling you, if you find a slick mag on your Mizraya, it is so good because it ups the fire rate. Like slick mag 3 ups the fire rate by like 44 RPM. The base RPM is like 60 RPM. So you dang near double it to where you basically have a full automatic waster with better range. It's so good. So again, we're kind of delegating who's looking up, who's making sure we're not getting rolled up on. We have a gold key card that we're going to want to go after. And actually, this room is very valuable to us because what we're trying to get done in here is I have Vault key card 5. And when you hover over a key card, it's going to tell you what you need. Oftentimes, it'll just say, hey, you need 1 battery and, or like 1 cryo and 8 battery. But for the gold keys, it'll tell you something else you need in addition to it. I'm going to make a full vault by vault by vault guide. I know most of you aren't to that point yet. And I still want to get some more reps to master these vaults. But Vault 5, I've hit like 10 times. So I feel very confident on it now. What you need to get into Vault 5 is something called the Tranquility Key. You get the Tranquility Key by going inside of this room. And I'll show you where. Not inside this one, but on, again, there's so much symmetry to this map. There are these little, like, glass walls here. Where inside of those glass walls, there is a key card. When you pick up that key card, it's going to spawn a boss and a bunch of ads. It's going to spawn a gold warden. And you have to take out that gold warden, and you'll see I'm looking for it. I'm inside of Tranquility, or Dormant. And normally there's a key right here. But considering all of these ad bodies that are inside of here, I'm like, shoot, these guys have already done it. So I'm like, guys, does anyone see the key? Does anyone see the key? We need to find the key. Like maybe someone ran out with the key and they're going to open our vault and we can't open it. But fortunately, I just end up walking over it on the ground. And that's what we need. Tranquility credentials. That only dropped because it came off of someone's dead body. Pick that up. That now will give us access to Vault 5. And we're going to show how to break into a vault here now. So we start looting through. We check all the bodies. I'm carrying 2 Mizrayas. A lot of people were roasting me on my chat. Like, Isaac, like, you could loot so much better. Why are you holding on to all that? Like, look at all those nades and ammo. Why are you holding on to... We've only killed maybe 3 teams. We're about to go hit a gold keycard room. There's still 18 minutes left in this raid. I know I'm going to find things way better than, like, a purple bag, maybe. And so I want to make sure I am ready for a knockdown, drag-out fight. Don't be the greedy bastard that griefs your team because you dropped all your ammo, you dropped all your loot when you still have 20 minutes left in your raid. These little side tier 3 rooms, by the way, are incredible. Like, anytime you find any of these little tier 3 rooms, it is nice. So security breach detected, security level 3 compromised. I believe that's when players are going up an elevator towards, like, the end game boss of the compiler. Kind of lets the whole lobby know where they're going. But for us, we had our own key card. We weren't going to go try to get active over there. I don't believe it's when you, or maybe it's when you go inside of this level 3 room. Maybe it is, actually. Maybe it triggers for both. But we hear these guys fighting. I tell my teammates 3, 2, 1. We all knife it at the same time, so it's quiet. We know they're on the opposite catwalk. We see them. Lacing them. When in doubt, pre-fire. People love reach-owling, especially TikToks. Especially those TikTok kids love to reach-owl. Miss input, don't mind that. I call out that we get one downed. Teammate pushes over, gets the finish. Last one's up right there. One more up. This was a really bad play. Pushing into a vent solo is like a horrible play. But I call out, teammate pushes over, swings, we get the kill. We're pretty confident now. We have fully wiped the lobby. There might be one more team up. But now we can start focusing on where the big money comes from. Again, I loot the heck out of Panacea kits because they're so valuable. I'm really not too worried about picking up things like purple shields, purple bags. And I honestly was getting a little bit greedy here. But this is why you delegate. 2 people eyes down, 1 guy eyes up. Guy eyes up is like, guy on us, guy on us, guy on us. I pop my meds. My teammate had already gotten a knock. I'm trying to throw it so they all have a drone up. One of the things that we do, and what a lot of players will do, is they don't use a bubble shield defensively, is they'll get a knock, and then they'll throw a bubble shield aggressively at the opponents, allowing you to push in, basically blocking off their line of sight or their line of fire. So I pre-nade that. Nades blow up so fast in this game. We get 2 kills, 2 thirsts, and then we can't find last. So we know there's a straggler around here somewhere. But now we're like, okay, that was squad number 5. We have wiped the entire lobby. Except for 1 player. We're still looking for 1 player. But I'm like, I don't want to waste my time hunting down one little Billy Bob. I have a gold key card. We're almost at security clearance level 5. So we clear out the ads. We start looting, and I tell Shaded, I'm like, bro, do you have any claymores? Do you have any trap bags? Just put claymores down on their body. Their teammates are going to go back for them. And so that's what we do. We put down claymores. We activate the scanner just for nice information because it'll tell us where the consoles are later. Now we hit the level 4 room fresh. Boom. There's the gold item. That's part of the reason I was leaving so much space in my inventory is like I knew we had better things to loot. And what I pinged on my map, again, you can find these in a lot of different spots on the map, but my favorite place to find them is preservation. It's like the most consistent spot to find them. I'll probably learn more spawns. We end up finding a nice little security clearance hack there. Is for that gold key, in order to get in, we have to find batteries, cryo, and then the card that we picked up inside of that boss room, the Tranquility. So you're going to pick up one of these empty cryo coolants. Now, there's a few spots around the map that you can end up grabbing these. And one thing that I do if I'm ever dropping a consumable is I'll just pop it. So I'm like, I don't want to just throw it on the ground. I'm just going to pop it real quick and give it to my teammates. But this cryo coolant, it's empty. We need to fill it up in order to get access to that room. I drop my key cards basically to make my teammates have consolidated space. Because now that we've wiped the lobby, we can basically delegate who holds batteries, who holds security key cards. And then watch this. Bing! We got it down. We got it down. I think that was with the Claymore. I don't think it was the trap bag, but we're like, oh, go, 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 go. We had already popped a cardio kick, so we knew we were going to get him. Poor guy didn't have a self-revive. I'm double checking the bodies first. We find him. Boom. Lobby's cleared. And guess what? He more than likely is going to have some security key cards for us. And now we're about to eat. We have 10 minutes left. We've wiped the entire lobby. Now let's talk about how to open up these vaults. I lose some time there because my bag ends up, or my gun ends up getting glitched. But now what we do is we go down into no man's land. A little bit scary, but because we know we've cleared out the map, I'm like, guys, you go loot those bodies, get to security clearance level 5. I need it. Here's why. There's 2 things to do down here in the bottom of the pit. 1, after you shoot out these, which will defrost the area, allowing you to move around a little bit faster, we now have access to these battery terminals, okay? These battery terminals, you're going to see them both for filling up cryo and for unlocking vaults. You will see the number of batteries that are already filled and then the number of batteries that you need to fill in order to activate it. In here, you're going to place the empty cryo cooler, and then we're going to add in 1 battery cell, which now it fills all yellow. Place it in here. You'll see it starts to fill it up. And this is the security clearance level 5. Pop this security clearance level 5. I drop the grenades because I already know we've cleared out the lobby. Boom. Compiler trace. It's worth 40,000 to each of your squad mates. That's probably more than some people's vault value that are watching this video. Pick up the empty cryo. Now it is a filled cryo coolant. And I tell my teammates, all right, hey, we got 5 minutes. I definitely haven't died trying to exfil with 2 minutes left with a backpack full of gold items and gold keys. I am not bitter. I'm not still having nightmares about that. So I'm like, guys, let's go, let's go, let's go. We got to move. When you have a key in your backpack, you can ping and it will show you where that key is. We ended up picking up another key. I think this was a level 2, a maintenance key. And I'm like, we're not going to do that. We already have the tranquility key. We've already cleared out the lobby. Let's hit the risky key. I pop cardio kick for the teammates to make sure everyone's moving fast. I should have put a drone on shaded. You surprisingly can jump pretty far off this and take like hardly any fall damage. If you want, you can shoot out these 4 green on each side and it will take away the frost so that way it doesn't affect your mobility. But I placed the filled cryo in. Place the filled cryo in. Boom. I'm shoving batteries in. Both of us are just spamming inputs to shove batteries in. And then what you need to do is whoever is holding that tranquility card is the only one that should be in the scanner. I turn around. I'm like, who the hell was standing in my scanner? I'm like, get away. Get away. So I try it again. They back up. And it says, ready. And then you burn your marathon key card. This game is so cool, man. I seriously, I can't get over how in love I am with this game. This is it might be like, seriously, it's one of the best gaming experiences I've had in recent memory. Like not even recent. It might be like a top 5, top 10 game for me all time. I'm having that much fun. I feel like we're past the honeymoon phase. I wish more people would find out about this game and enjoy it as much as I do. So we go there and we see this symbol. That symbol is going to tell us, and you're going to need this as you go through future vaults, what icons to hit. Now, I think fortunately in this vault, if I remember correctly, there are only the number of panels and the icons of panels that you actually need to open. I don't think they have any fluke terminals, but sometimes if you hit the wrong terminal, it will actually shut down the process and you have to restart it. But we go in, we hit all 3. I've now completed my objective for getting security clearance level 5. Or actually, opening a vault. That was the other thing, my Cyber Acme contract for opening a vault. And general rule is whoever brought the key gets the gold gun. Whoever brought the key gets the gold gun. And you'll see, dude, some of the loot in here is so good. Remember what I was saying? I don't care about purple bags? That's why I don't care about purple bags. Those things are everywhere inside of these rooms. I get the unique M77. It shoots nukes. It's got this really cool charge up mechanic for when you shoot with iron sights versus shooting aim down sight. We'll have a gameplay with that gun. And now is where I feel comfortable ditching a lot more of the consumables. I'll ditch the consumables. I'll ditch some of the extra ammo. And what my teammate dropped to me was like, hey, like, do we need this? Is this important? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. So these things called AI subroutines. And the reason they're so important is, well, now they've actually adjusted it. Okay, beforehand, it was RNG whether or not they would spawn. They actually just tweeted out as I was making this video that they are now a guaranteed spawn. I can't find the tweet, but Joe Ziegler tweeted out, AI subroutines are now guaranteed spawn. If you open up a vault, they will be there every single time. RIP to the teams that were trying to do worlds first. In order to get to the compiler, Vault 7, you have to get one of these and extract with them from all vaults 1 through 6. Once you do that, then you can access Vault 7 anytime you want. But it's really important. Look for this item. If you actually remember the very first cinematic trailer, this was the thing that the assassin was putting in his ear and listening to. Make sure you loot that. You can check which one of those you have by going into your Codex, World, Cryo Archives, and then I think AI subroutines. And you'll see now we're doing a little bit of the Tetris. I'm holding on to a lot of stuff. I start ditching a few things. Another thing that's really important is the DNA access card. A lot of people look over it, but that DNA access card is what is going to allow you to hit Vault 7. Again, DNA network access required. Can't see it behind my face. DNA network access required. Collect AI subroutines 1 through 6 to unlock DNA network access. That's what allows you to go into Vault 7. And then to go into Vault 7, you have to have this little mini key, just totally unsuspecting. Loot that and bring it home. Loot that and bring it home. I find some pretty cool stuff. Too bad the Copperhead is awful. I think I find a bubble shield schema, which is amazing. We're trying to be a little bit careful here. Loadout value 105,000. 3 minutes left before exfil. I go ahead and pop a cardio kick for my team. I just pick it up off the ground and pop it. Try to see if there's anything else worth picking up that's like worth 1 slot, but the amount of times that I've died 10 seconds, 15 seconds away from a exfil, I try not to make that mistake. So we're booking it out. We run up these stairs. We run through here. We scan if we need to. If we needed to, I would scan that console again on my left. But my teammate was already activating the exfil right there. If we couldn't find a terminal, I would access this and it would tell us where the terminal is. But he hits it. I pull up my map. We look for the skull. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Look for the skull. Do not look for the other terminal icons. I may have died running towards the terminal icon. Boom. Ping it. Get yourself situated. Find it. You can disarm any red doors by hitting these. And we say, screw you guys. We do not care. We are gone. Leaving you behind. You can always double check your map instead of committing all the way to a choke point if you don't know the map well enough. Double check. Pull up your big map. It'll tell you whether or not you're leading yourself into a rabbit hole that's going to take you 15 minutes in the other direction. And then we just start booking it. We're just running past all the bots. At this point, I don't have any of my mechanics kits. I've already burned all of them. And we start running it back, running it back. They are guarded exfils. That's the gold M77. It actually has like a charge up mechanic. I'm not gonna mention it right now, but basically like when you aim down sight, it provides like a single fire doing crazy damage. I actually tell my teammates, I'm like, yo, hey, wait, chill. Just for a second. Let me loot this commander body because loot gets better later in the raid. So I'm later in the raid. I'm like, let me real quick check this commander's body. And I'm like, oh, shoot. That's worth $4,000. So I ditched some ammo. Throw that bad boy in there. Then we're in, man. Then we're in. I'm a little goblin. We've already cleared the map, so I'm not too paranoid about it. But holy 109,000 multiple gold implants. The contraband, the red valuable, that gets shared by entire team. We end up taking out the entire lobby. Maybe there was one other team that already gotten wiped. Multiple Mizrayas. And yeah, we were down pretty bad. We were down pretty bad for a while, but we hit a major regain after learning from all of our mistakes. And then we just went on run after run after run. And you saw my vaults at the beginning of today's video. I am now stacked with gold, and I'm even more ready to head in to next week. But if you guys enjoyed this, if you learned something new about Cryo Archives, do me a favor, drop a like on this video, subscribe. I think this is a great way to learn things rather than doing step by step. Just because it just felt too disjointed when I put it together. So I reworked the video. I think this was super valuable. I think I am absolutely in love with this game. And, if you guys would be interested maybe in doing like some marathon key runs, some marathon key escort services, where you guys join me and a friend and we bring you through and we run like gold keys on this map or purple keys, who knows, whatever. Come join me. Join me over on Twitch. Join me when I'm streaming here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you learned something new and enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like the video on your way out. Comment down below if you have any suggestions for Cryo. Maybe I missed something or have a different suggestion. God, I'm having so much fun playing this game, man. I hope you guys are too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Shout out again for Hollyland for sponsoring today's video. Peace.